All right, for the final chapter, final video of this. Man, the stream is already, a half hour over our maximum stream time, and I have one more to go. So all the folks who've been watching live, who've been sitting through this, appreciate the heck out of you guys. Those who are watching in video format, well, you got some nice long videos this week. So I hope you enjoy that. I am late for a gaming session I'm supposed to be involved in. So I am openly apologizing to the GM's Elkov because I still have to do all the post-stream stuff after the fact before I can join his game, and he is waiting for me to join his game. So if you guys have not subscribed to the GM's Elkov, check him out and subscribe to his channel. He does Let's Plays, he does paint and chats, he talks about some of the games that he likes. So go check out his channel, especially since I'm holding him up right now. Now, with that said, we're going to now finish up talking about thieves and the subclasses, you know, things like assassins and legerdemainists, or however the hell you say that. We'll get to that in a moment. And fun and purloiners. Come on, the class is called purloiner. Why would you not play it? Before we do that, we believe that role-playing games take place in fantastic worlds. The focus of the game should be on role-playing and having a good time. The core values, that's core values, not just ideas, not just good ideas. No, core values of #RPGate and any good tabletop group are escapism, not representation, entertainment over activism, and natural, organic inclusion, not forced diversity. The charity we support is the Wounded Warrior Project, a national nonpartisan organization whose mission is to honor and empower wounded warriors. I've actually had people come to me and tell me the good that Wounded Warrior has done for them specifically, so I know it works. Please refer to the description below for the link to where you can make your hopefully tax-deductible donation. That is our streaming schedule. The purple on Thursdays and Saturdays for twitch.tv playing video games, multiplayer video games, and Sunday and Friday for talking about tabletop RPG games. This is a live stream podcast discussion, not a step-by-step tutorial. We'll deviate off topic. Even with just me here, we'll deviate off topic. They've been cracking jokes in chat. Meanies. So like, subscribe, and share. All right, let's pop this on the screen. We are not having a segment 3 today. And in fact, when this segment is done, it's going to be an almost abrupt ending. It's going to be, thank you guys for being here. Have a nice day. I got stuff to do. But we are going to get through this, and we're going to get through it in the same format that we did before. So, all right, we are on the thief. I said we are on the thief. There we go. Say down here, it says, cunning and nimble swordsman, possess of numerous specialized skills. All right. Now, one last time, I got to say that these are the principal classes. These 4, fighter, magician, cleric, thief. I suggest that the first time you play the game, this is what you stick with, either as whether it's the first time you play as a game master, referee in this game, sorry, or the first time you make a character, stick with the basics. Okay? Game master, that's just one time. You know? The rest of you, it's the first time you play a character. That it's, again, a suggestion on my part, just because, you know, things get a little weird when you start getting into, here we go, the assassin, which I've never liked as a character class. Yes, I'm one of those weirdos. I'm kind of like the Trollerd Games guys on this one, where it's like, shouldn't be thinking about playing assassins. And anybody who kills people is an assassin. But it does have a special role here, and this is a Hyperborean world, or Hyperborean world, Conan type thing, so it makes sense that it's there. So we have the assassin, we have the bard, we have the oh my god, I can never say it, legerdemainist, the purloiner, and the scout. So what is different between the scout and the ranger and so forth? We are going to find out. So first things first, I need to go to page, it looks like 36. As what we did with the other ones, we will read the thief pretty much in depth, and then the rest we will talk about the differences. So, the thief is a swift swordsman and nimble-fingered specialist, a robber, a pickpocket, racketeer, or a spy, perhaps a bandit, outlaw, or raider. Thieves live... Oops. Sorry, that's just a little anal retentive thing by me. Thieves live by their cunning, wits, and quick blades, and they are well-versed in subterfuge, duplicity, and methodical execution. All right, well, many thieves are members of a thieves guild, the hierarchy of which oft spans the urban underworld and beyond. From a thieves guild, the apprentice thief learns the plethora of eclectic skills. He or she then forfeits an agreed-upon percentage of earnings to that guild. Hey, we're teaching you how to do this, you have to give a little bit back. And per the last video, this is what I'm talking about. This is how it works through most of the book, he or she. That's why it's struck me as odd when I saw it in the last book as being different. Other apprentice thieves take instruction from an unaffiliated master, a rogue with no ties to formal organization. Despite their notoriety, the expertise and versatility of the thief is ever in demand by dungeon-delving adventure seekers. And you can play a thief that focuses on that. Like, hey, man, I'm not stealing from the poor. I'm not running around trying to rob, merchants and so forth. They're just trying to make a living. I practice my trade to bring back artifacts. Now, you know what? I may not bring them to a museum. I might sell them. We might split the costs as we, oh my God, fence it. There we go. If we, as we fence it out, whatever, but I ply my trade not to take from the common man, but to assist you. You can do that. You can do that. Thieves Guild doesn't make sense to you. I mean, I liken it as the easiest example so that I can go on here. It's like a mafia. Is there a more combat-oriented thief type in this game? Well, we'll find out, preferably other than the assassin. We will definitely find out. I think there is. I think I know which one it is too, but I don't want to lie. Thief is a swift sword. Oh, okay, we already read that. Okay, so dexterity 9. That's all you need is a dexterity 9 to get into this. That's the lowest end of average. But if you have a 16 or more, you get a 10% XP bonus. D6, you're going to find that as pretty much the common ground for the thief. Chaotic good, neutral, lawful evil. That's interesting. Lawful evil. Huh. Okay. Okay, and chaotic evil. I mean, I can see an argument for it, don't get me wrong. But it just kind of surprised me. Armor allowed light, shields allowed small. Favored weapons. Here's your list of favored weapons. Hand tridents, horseman's flail, falcata. Okay, agile. +1 armor class bonus when unarmored and unencumbered. A small shield is allowed. Travis says, take from the rich and give to myself. Hey, if that's how you want to be, that's cool. You can. My point wasn't that you shouldn't play a type of thief that pickpockets or whatever, but you don't have to. You can play one that's dedicated to archaeology, so to speak. Dr. Jones. I don't know if he'd be considered a thief, but you get what I'm saying. So yeah, I mean, if you want to do the Robin Hood kind of thing. Oh wait, no, that was given back to the poor. You absolutely can. Right, and the law, yeah, the lawful. I think of the lawful evil thief as the naughty lawyer. Anyway, backstab. A backstab attempt with a class 1 or 2 melee weapon, and we'll get to what class 1 and 2 means in a future episode. I don't think it's next week. I think it's week after, but I could be wrong. We'll talk about that. But with a class 1 or basically a smaller weapon. The target must be unaware of the attack, which may be the result of hiding or moving silently. Also, the target must have vital organs, so you cannot backstab a skeleton. Aw. Or a green slime. Aw. If the requirements are met, the following benefits result. The attack roll is made at a +4 to hit. That is one of the things I always thought the Dungeons & Dragons was missing. Well, it kind of wasn't missing if you actually dove into the rules, but a lot of times people didn't do the whole attacking from behind. They gave the damage, but they didn't do the bonus. +4 to hit. Glad it's spelled out right there. Additional weapon damage dice are rolled according to the thief's level of experience. So if you're a 1st to 4th level thief, you do ×2 damage. Now, that ×2 means you're rolling extra damage dice, not just multiplying the d6 times 2, you're rolling 2d6. Using d6 as the example, if that's your weapon. This would be 3d6, this would be 4d6, or d8, or whatever dice you're rolling. Other damage modifiers are added afterward. So, a 5th level thief with a 13 strength and a +1 short sword rolls 3d6 +2. Why? Because it's ×3, and he had a +1 for his strength and a +1 for the short sword, which gave him the +2. So normally it'd be 1d6 +2, but with the backstab, it's 3d6 +2. All right. Now, like in most Dungeons & Dragons games, the thief levels the fastest. Why? Because honestly, the thief does the most dangerous shit. Okay, that's number one. And you want your thief to live. And pardon me for cursing. That's really what it comes down to. You want your thief to live. You're just a real big dum-dum if you are complaining, oh, thief level's so fast. He's going to be twice as level as me. Who cares? Please, thief, level yourself. Live through those poisons. Live through those traps. All right. So saving throws are normal. Fighting ability is interesting. I wasn't expecting this. 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. It's the same fighting ability as the priest. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, so let's move on. Detect secret doors. Find a secret door, 3 in 6 chance. Extraordinary feats of dexterity, 8% to extraordinary feats of dexterity. Remember, that's based on your attributes. So if you have an 18, right, you have a 32% chance. Let's say you have an 18 dexterity. That means you have a 32% chance to do some sort of extraordinary feat. Well, now you have a 40% chance. Let's say you have a low dex. What is that? I think that gives you like a 16% chance to do something. Well, now it's a 24% chance. That's a significant boost. Excuse me. The secret language of thieves. Thieves can't. Strange pigeon. I think I said that right. Pigeon. And I've seen the word before. I just don't know how to pronounce it. By the way, I'm going to tangent right now. For many years of my life, I knew the word esoteric. But nobody ever taught me how to say it. So I'd say until I was like 30 years old, I pronounced it esoteric. And then, of course, because people don't know how to correct people without being mocking, that's fine. I got laughed at big time. But it was the first time I'd ever actually heard the word pronounced esoteric. And nobody ever corrected me when I was younger when I pronounced it esoteric. So yes, now I pronounce it esoteric. So like this, pigeon, I'm guessing it's right. In which some words may be unintelligible to an ignorant listener, whereas others might be common yet of alternative meaning. It's hacker speak. Okay, before there was hacker speak. This covert tongue is used in conjunction with specific body language. A big example we used in the 80s was jive. Hand gestures, facial expressions. 2 major dialects of thieves' cants are used in Hyperborea, one by city thieves, the other by pirates. Commonalities exist betwixt the two. New weapon skill, 4, 8, and 12, just like, oh, sorry, this is a new video. So outside of this list up here, you get all of these. You get all of these favorite weapons, okay? And then down here at 4, 8, and 12, you can pick weapons that are not included on that list. Enlist henchmen at level 6, thief may seek or be sought out by 1 or more henchmen, classed individuals who become loyal followers. Lordship at 9th level, thief who builds or assumes control of a suitable headquarters becomes a lord and is eligible to attract a band of thieves. You have started your own thieves guild. Now you might be a sub-thieves guild to a bigger one, or you might have your own, whatever. But when you're 9th level, you start your own nonsense and you start to make the rules. Progressive thief abilities. All right, here we go. Climb. To ascend or descend sheer cliffs or walls without the need of climbing gear. If vertical, the surface must be rough or cracked. At least 1 check must be made per 100 feet of climbing. As I said before, failure indicates the climber has slipped or fallen at about the midpoint. So midpoint between 100 feet is 50 feet. So you'd fall about 50 feet. I think that's 5d6 damage, but we'll find that out later. If you made it the first 100 but didn't make the next 100, well, you'll be falling at about 150 feet, and that's a lot of damage. You don't want to. Decipher script. To translate text otherwise not understood. Maps can be interpreted, instructions decoded, and so forth. Ancient or alien languages, however, may remain unintelligible, lacking any basis for comparison. I used to pronounce thrycreen as threecreen. Interesting. I can see that, though. I mean, to me, it's always been thrycreen, but I can actually see it. Look at the fight between drow and dro. I know some people insist it's pronounced dro. It's like rowing. You don't call it row. And then there are those of us who pronounce it drow, and I say, well, it's like ow. I hurt myself. O-W. I don't go oh. I go ow. You know, who's right, who's wrong? I don't know. But you know what is right? It's pronounced boulette, not boulet. I don't care what Gygax says. I don't care what Arnesis says. I don't care what Tim Cass says. I don't care what Jeffrey Talanian says. If you end your word with E-T-T-E, that's et under every circumstance. It's never an A. If you want it to be boulet, you take off the last T-E and you just spell it B-U-L-L-E-T. And then you can have your dumb little French boulet. It's boulette. Oh, and it's GIF, not GIF. And I don't care what the creator of it says. The creator of it calls it GIF. I don't care. Or sorry, calls it GIF. It's GIF. Number 1, GIF as a word would be GIF. Number 2, it's graphical interface, whatever the hell it's format. or interchange format. Well, they're in graphical, it's pronounced G. So F off, it's GIF. Now, back to our regularly scheduled story. I got to put it up there. We will go on tangents. All right. Discern noise. To hearken at a door and detect the faintest of noises on the other side. Perceive the distant footfalls of a wandering monster. Distinguish a single voice in a crowd. 6 rounds, 1 minute of concentrated listening are required. A word is yes. Yes. I'm one of those people that I am not perfect with the English language, but I try to be as much as possible, especially in writing. Especially in writing. And the people are like, oh, it doesn't matter. I just write like I speak. Well, they can go F themselves off a bridge with Dan. We were taught as kids, you don't write like you speak. And I tell you what, if Jeffrey Talanian, which I've actually seen a couple interviews with him, if he were to speak like he writes in this book, I'd laugh at him. Would be twixt. But anyway, I love the way he writes this book, by the way. Absolutely love it. Hide. To vanish into shadows. Camouflage oneself or flatten one's body to a seemingly impossible degree. All whilst. Love it. Remaining still as a statue. Only the slightest movement is permissible. You can unsheath the blades, slowly, you can open up a pouch. Hiding is impossible in direct sunlight or if the thief is observed. It's not a magical ability, it's a natural ability. Manipulate traps. To find, remove, and reset traps, both magical and mundane. Separate checks must be made to accomplish each facet. Find, remove, reset. Now, reset isn't one that's done all the time, but if you find one, you probably want to remove it, right? So you have to find it first, then you have to remove it. Then if you want to set it back up for whatever reason, you might do it just to say, I was never here. Especially if it's a place that's going to be, that people could look for something like that, right? But, a dungeon that's just got carrion crawlers or whatever in it, you might not be resetting it. But each time you have to roll. Failure by more than 2. Okay, I want you to hear that. Failure by more than 2, or if a natural 12 is rolled, may cause the trap to detonate on the thief. We're going to have to look at those numbers because more than 2 is not a lot. You went from success to boom pretty quickly on a D12. Also, a new trap may be built if the mechanism is simple and the parts available. Anything more complex requires the assistance of an engineer. These tools are required when practicing this ability. Move silently. To move with preternatural quiet, even across squeaky floorboards, dry leaves, and squeaky cats. Loose debris and the light. This skill is executed at half the thief's normal movement rate. Open locks. To pick locks or disable latching mechanisms, both magical and mundane, so they can hit the magical ones too. Thief tools are required. Picking or dismantling a lock may be attempted but one time. If the attempt fails, the thief cannot try again until he has gained a level of experience. Yeah, just not smart enough to figure it out. Most locks require a D4 minutes to pick. Complex locks might necessitate 3D6 minutes. So I hope you're not in a rush. Picking pockets. To filch items from a pocket, pouch, backpack, garment using nimble fingers and possibly a distraction. Failure by a margin of 3 or greater indicates the attempt has been observed. That's a little better than the 2, right? though not necessarily by the victim. If the roll is successful, the referee must determine what has been procured. If the thief attempts to pick the pocket of a higher level thief, legerdemainist, there we go, or purloiner, a penalty equal to the difference in levels must be applied to the check. So, if you're pickpocketing, didn't include scout or whatever the other one was in there, assassin, but a higher level thief, legerdemainist, or purloiner, you're going to get a penalty if that dude's higher level than you. The skill also covers the gamut of sleight of hand trickery a thief might employ to deceive onlookers, palming, stuff like that. Read scrolls. To decipher and invoke thaumaturgical, that's magician, scrolls. If the attempt fails, a backfire other unfortunate circumstance may result. A second D12 roll must be rolled with 3 in 12 chance of disaster. The spell is erased from the scroll in any event. All right, so let's look at these real quickly. A thief level 1 to 2. Now, I know some people don't like this, and I get it. I understand. As a second edition Dungeons & Dragons player, I absolutely get this. You want to put the abilities where you want to put them. But it's just so much easier to go through it this way. Just know that as a first, second level thief, you have an 8 in 12 chance. Means you roll a d12, you get 8 or less, you got it. Decipher script, you're just not doing it at first and second level. You haven't been exposed to enough stuff yet. Discern noise, yada yada. I mean, read scrolls. How can you roll a 0? Well, this is going to be based on, you might have an attribute bonus or ability score bonus that you can add here, and we'll look for that in just a moment. Okay, that's why I can start 0, because these are affected by ability score bonuses. Now, attempting progressive thief ability. Roll a d12 to determine success or failure. If the result is equal to or less than the required number, the attempt is successful. Referee might modify the probability of success based on prevailing circumstance. Yes, you might make it harder or easier. I wouldn't suggest doing that too often, because remember, thieves get killed. Okay? So if the thief made it, and it's not something that's specifically there to thwart a thief, just give them the roll. And if a good player comes up with an idea that makes it that the roll can be done better, maybe takes more time, uses up more thieves tools if that's a thing, works the process in a longer manner, gonna make a little extra noise doing it, whatever, give them a bonus. Don't have to. I'm just saying that's a good idea. Modifiers. Each ability is associated with a potentially modified. Oh God! Each ability is associated with and potentially modified by an exceptional attribute, increasing the chance in 12 by 1. If you have a higher dexterity, let's look at the one we saw before, the decipher script. If you have a 16 or higher intelligence, is that read scrolls also? Decipher script and read scrolls. Yeah. If you have a 16 intelligence, well, good luck. But on a 1, you can do it at 5th level. Good luck with that. Okay, because it gives you a bonus of 1. Example: a 5th level thief with 16 dexterity is 8 and 12 chance to move silently. Well, what is it normally? So a 5th level thief to move silently normally has a 7 and 12 chance. So you roll just over 50%. But if you roll 7 or less, you've possibly moved silently. Well, now because you have a high dexterity, you have an 8 and 12. Yeah, player skill. I don't overuse the player skill thing because I don't want players, watching a James Bond movie and then just trying everything from that. But if a player has to sacrifice something, or let me say the player character. The player character has to sacrifice something. Time, effort, components, something. But if that sacrifice is made, I don't see why you can't get, and it's reasonable. It makes sense. I don't see why you can't give, a +1, +2 bonus. Okay. Again, that's just me. I don't expect everybody to do it. All right, armor modifier for subclasses. Subclasses with the abilities, now talking about the subclasses now. Scout, purloiner, legerdemainist, assassin. Subclasses with abilities climb, hide, and move silently. Execute these abilities at a penalty. Chance of 12 is reduced by 4 if wearing medium armor. Executing these abilities is impossible in heavy armor. Is that just for the subclasses and not for the thief? Yeah, it doesn't say anything about that here for the thief. It does say it. If you watch the other videos, it said it in the other ones. So the thief can actually climb in armor. I still would I'd house rule that in. Or maybe do it no penalty with medium and -4 at the heavy. I don't like the idea of wearing heavy armor. Not that they're supposed to wear it anyway, but all right. And we've got the combat fighting matrix. Okay, now we go through the subclasses and we are done. Again, for the folks hanging out on the live stream, I am losing a lot of viewers. You guys are finally getting bored. I understand it. But I appreciate everybody who's hanging out. And those who are watching this per the videos, just know that this has been going on for 50 minutes, 50 minutes past the normal, long stream end time. It's 5:50 p.m. I want to be done by 5. And like I said, there's a RPG I'm supposed to be in right now sorry, didn't mean to do that. I knew today was going to be long. I didn't think it was going to be this long, though. Here we go. Assassin. The assassin is a proficient killer and sometimes bounty hunter, an adept instrument of death whose skills border on the uncanny. Most assassins are trained by instructors of an assassin's guild or a special branch of thieves guilds, others by unaffiliated master of execution. May serve as a nobleman or liege lord, might be an acolyte of a fanatical religious order. They are viewed with disfavor. This is important. Assassins are viewed with disfavor or disdain even by those who employ them. So, if you don't, obviously people don't run out, I'm an assassin, I'm an assassin, I'm an assassin. But even the people who employ them don't like them. So hence most lead solitary lives. Most assassins are remorselessly evil. In sooth, even those who lack moral turpitude are of neutral alignment at best and devoid of emotional and sentimental attachments. It's kind of a psychopath. Like you don't necessarily have to be evil. You could just be a psychopath. I mean, I know a lot of them where you just relate to being evil, sure. But, an intelligent one might just be a psychopath. Assassins are capable of murder without compunction, whether it be a knife across the throat, poison wine, meticulously arranged sniper shot, or some other means. So, to be an assassin, what do you need? You need a strength of 9, probably because you have to wield some weapons and get into places. Dexterity of 9, of course, because, you're a thiefly side and you want to be accurate with your attacks. And an intelligent of 9, because a stupid assassin is a dead assassin. Now, you could argue, that's pretty dumb. Well, you know what? What you do with the training is up to you. We'll get you to that point. Because you prime are dexterity and intelligence. You need both of those at 16 or better to get a 10% XP bonus. Hit die type is still a D6, neutral, lawful evil, chaotic evil, armor allowed light, shields allowed any, favored weapons. You got a whole list of them here. Hook, throwing knives, crossbows, tridents, tonfas. All right. Saving throw modifiers +2 to avoidance and device. Remember, I don't know if we talked about Thief, we'll do it right now. That +2 effectively makes this a -2, so to speak. You need a 14 or higher to make it a level 1 because you get a +2 to the roll, to the number that you rolled. All right. So 1750, so a little higher than the Thief. So we'll see what, okay, +1 AC bonus from unarmed. We already talked about that with the Thief. Assassinate. It's a backstab ability. A backstab, so therefore the Thief ability, attempt made with a class 1 or 2 melee weapon, so I think those are one-handed, with the intent to assassinate. The target must be unaware of attack, like backstab, which must be the result of hiding and moving silently, or maybe. Also, the target must not have, okay, so this is all backstab stuff. So what do we get? Made +4 to hit. If target's hit, a second D20 is rolled to verify the assassination. So basically you're making 2 attack rolls. If the first one hits, you hit the target and you get your backstab, right? If the second D20 meets the required target number or less, the target must make a death saving throw or die. However, if the original D20 attack roll is a natural 19 or 20, then no saving throw is allowed. Little, not confusing, but let's do this. Let me roll my dice. I roll my attack roll. Where's my second D20? Oh, I think I found the other die that fell on the floor. It's down there on the floor somewhere. I rolled. That didn't hit. Let's get a hit. Okay, that got a hit. I got a 19. And I got a 13. All right, let's just say, for the sake of argument, I needed a 15 to hit. Well, I got a 19. So, the first attack, I get the backstab, but the second one didn't confirm the assassination. So it's just the backstab attempt, okay? So next. Let's say I needed to roll, what did I get, a 13? Let's say I needed to get a 13. Well, the first roll was a 19. The second roll was a 13. So I got a hit, and then I confirmed that hit, as they like to say. So now that person has to make a saving throw. Oh, wait, but no. That first attack roll was a 19. No saving throw is allowed. That creature is dead. Okay. Normal backstab damage rules per Thief class apply if the result is hit, but not automatic assassination. There you go. You can see it there. We already talked about that. Other damage modifiers, we already talked about that. Note the assassination attempt is, if the assassination attempt is made against an assassin of higher level, chance in 20 successes reduced by 1 for every level difference. Good job. Sniper attack. Lastly, unlike the Thief's backstab ability, this assassin can also make an assassination attempt with a missile weapon, such as bow or thrown dagger, versus human, humanoid, quasi-man, or giant. Attempt requires short range. Mark must be completely unaware of the danger and not otherwise engaged in combat. Why is that? Because when you're engaged in combat, you're assumed to be moving around, trying to get position and so on and so forth, and you're trying to get that. But if it's just a guard standing there, derp, 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 not paying attention, and you've got the surprise. You whap, done. It's the ninja and the shuriken, right? The assassin's comprehensive knowledge of anthropoid anatomy allows for the specialized termination attempt. Okay. So, assassination level. Oh, did I screw that up? Second D. So, no. Okay, so this is the verification. I'm sorry, I used the roll to hit when I did my example. This is the second D20. I should have known this because it's the same as the other edition. So I rolled my attack to hit. Let's roll attack to hit. Let's say I need to get a 12 or higher. That's an 18. So I hit. Now I roll D20. Level hit dice of target. Let's just say I'm a 3rd level assassin attacking a 1st level target because we want it to be somewhat easy. So that means I need this. I need a 7 in 20. So I got my backstab in, and now I rolled a 19. I did not get it. Oh well. But on a 7 or less, it would have been an automatic kill with the saving throw. Detect secret doors, we already done that. Extraordinary feats of dexterity, already did that. Disguise, to fashion a facade that stimulates or simulates a particular race, creature, social class, possibly making one appear a few inches taller, shorter, several pounds heavier, thinner. See the disguise self. The assassin can also appear as the opposite sex. This ruse may be accomplished through a combination of acting, makeup, apparel. This is why you want a good charisma, right? And perhaps even subtle sorcery. The base chance of disguise being discerned is 2 in 12. You are good luck with that. Adjusted as the referee deems appropriate. If the assassin is a 16 plus charisma, the base chance is, to being discerned. I'm sorry. So, yeah, the assassin's got a pretty good chance of pulling this off. That's a pretty good chance of pulling that off. I think that actually is too easy. Yeah, I think that's too easy. I'd make you give up. You'd have to buy some good materials and so forth. Basically, if you planned it out, I'd give it to you. If you're just like, oh my God, rub some dirt on here so I can look, okay, that's not going to be so good. Harvest venom. We haven't talked about it in our thieves. Damn it. To extract venom sacs from snakes, spiders, giants, insects, and the like should the opportunity present and appropriate containers be available. I mean, this is how the thief is going to collect his poisons, right? Or the assassin's going to collect his poisons, right? Assassins learn to dissect venomous creatures in the field. This skill is performed at a base of 9 in 12 chance. If a 12 is rolled, a mishap occurs. You cut the venom sac poorly and you got some in your mouth, maybe in an open wound or something, whatever, and you could be suffering the effects. Who knows? Poison resistance. Toxicological training and exposure to various poisons, toxins provides a +1 bonus on all saving throws versus poisoning, though not other death saving throws. In fact, what does the assassin get? +2 to device and +2 to avoidance. So now add on +1 to poisons. Poison use, the employment of toxins to kill assassin. Some assassin guilds have in-house alchemists who concoct poisons. Consult your referee. All right. New skills, those that weren't in that list at 4, 8, and 12. Enlist henchmen. Poison manufacturer at 9th level, eligible to train with a master alchemist, toxologist, and learn how to concoct debilitating and deadly poisons. Before 9th level, you're buying them, you're having other people make them. At 9th level, you're making them yourself. Lordship. Okay, progressive thief abilities, we've talked about those. I'm looking quickly to see if there's a difference. Does not look like it. Yep, looks like those are the same. So there we go. That's the assassin. And by same, I mean the same as the thief. Do we look at here the fighting ability? The fighting ability is the same as the thief. Saving throws and DC. Okay, so yeah. All right, what's next? The Bard. Oh, I'm gonna have to drink before this one. No, my wife knows this is going to be a long one. The Bard is a mystic thief with the martial versatility of a fighter, the Dweomer craft of an ecclesiastical and thaumaturgical sorcerer, and the plethora of esoteric skills. See, esoteric right there. Through song, verse, or music, the Bard opens windows to other dimensions and taps weird vibrations that permeate the illimitable black gulf. Cherished or detested by kings, knights, noblemen, and peasants alike, some bards use their preternatural gifts to craft poems and satires interwoven with sorcerer's vibrations. Others play musical instruments to affect similar results. I'm just going to tell you, my favorite bard, I have 2 favorite bards in any game. The first one is the first edition AD&D Bard. Yes, I'm a second edition player, but I like the first edition AD&D Bard. And I also love the Troubadour from Earthdawn. I think it really captures what a Bard is supposed to be more than any other game ever has. Now, let's move on here. A Bard, drink, because I said Earthdawn. A Viking Bard is called a Skald. The Skald performs kennings, compound metaphorical poems laced with sorcery, and composes sagas of kingly deeds, blood feuds, and heroic battles. Bards oft roam with fellow adventure seekers, composing new works based on the escapades of glory and daring do. One of the things that I think that really miss in a lot of these games about the Bard is supposed to be a historian, an accurate historian. Yes, a storyteller as well, because when stories were recounted, like Beowulf and so forth, that was done, you had to have the extravagance for it to stay in people's noodles. But outside of things like Beowulf, they also were heralds. They passed along news, and you wanted to be accurate about that. All right. So dexterity, look at all these attributes: strength, dexterity, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma 15. We're at paladin levels. Actually, I think this is a paladin level worth of attribute requirements. So it's not going to be easy to become one. Then dexterity and charisma, that makes sense. A D8, you see that? Thieves normally have D6, D8 for the Bard. Chaotic good, neutral, chaotic evil. Yeah, because they're going to be wanderers, loners, and so forth. Armor allowed light and medium. Shields allowed any. Favored weapons, any. Look at this. Saving throw modifiers, device avoidance. This is a fighter. So you're asking if there is a fighter, one that has better combat ability. Well, let's just go down to the chart. Fighting ability as a thief, though. But who cares? Can cast druid spells and illusion. Oh my god. Yeah, we're gonna what's the experience on this one? 2,500. That's it. Okay. Well, it's jack of all trades. That is for sure. A jack of all trades. I have to give it to that. Class ability, counter songs. To cognize songs of enchantment from other bards, gorgons, harpies, etc., and instantly, no initiative required. So this is like a reaction. React with opposing melodies, poetics, and instrumentation that channels the horrible vibrations of the Black Gulf, at once muting or disrupting auditory sorcery. So it acts as your sound deadening headsets. The base chance of success is 9 and 12 for opponents of equal or lesser level or hit dice. For every level or hit dice greater than the bard's, the chance in 12 is reduced by 1, with 1 in 12 being the minimum chance of success. You can fight, but can he seduce a dragon? Ugh. Plus 8% chance to perform extraordinary feats of dexterity. Folklore. To identify or recall a random fact or sliver of knowledge regarding ancient artifacts, legends, myths, folklore. This is legend lore from D&D and other oddities. Whether anything exists to be gleaned, as well as the extent and veracity of the information, is ultimately the purview of the referee. I would like the bard to know to some degree whether it's true or not. I mean, again, they're part historians, so but at the same time, who should provide a chance in success or possibly automatic success if appropriate. Okay, yeah, I probably should have read the rest of that, right? In spirit allies, in the midst of battle, recite poems or sing verses that inspirit allies to fight with enhanced ferocity. Allies gain +1 bonus to hit and damage. In melee, not missile combat. Boon takes effects 2 rounds after the singing begins. So you have to wait a couple rounds. So on round 3, if he starts singing right away. Boon lasts as long as the bard performing to a maximum of 1 turn, so 10 minutes. And remember, 1 round is 10 seconds? So here comes brave Sir Robin. Can last for quite a while. This ability can be used whilst engaged in battle, so long as the bard can continue to sing or recite. However, casting other spells or performing other like actions is not possible. So you can recite, you can do your thing while you're fighting, but not while casting spells or doing other things that require some sort of concentration, we'll say. This ability can be used once per day for every 3 levels. So at 7th to 9th level, you can use it 3 times per day. Shh, I'm on a live stream, cat. Magic item use. Can you use magic items normally restricted to magicians and clerics? All right, let's look at the spellcast since we're up here. D8, saving throw. So more hit points than a thief. Also can wear more armor than a thief. Experience points are, well, I mean, it was 1,500 for a thief, so I guess it's a lot. But can cast druid spells starting at 1 there. Up to level 4 up to level 4 spells. That's pretty good because the real kick-ass ones kind of start at 3, but really come in at level 4. Druid and Illusionist. That's pretty awesome. And that does make sense. Why Druid? Again, he's traveling. He's the bard is somebody who understands lore and history and understands nature. So mesmerize. Once per day, recite a song or a poem laced with weird vibrations that permeate the universe. Alternatively, the bard may play a flute, panpipes. It's your Pied Piper, right? Or other wind instrument. Requirements, limitations, effects are as follows. Can take no other action besides walking. Targets must be within 40 feet and of animal intelligence or greater. Again, Pied Piper. You can Pied Piper humans. Allies and traveling companions are unaffected unless they have become hostile to the bard. Funny. Each target is allowed a sorcery saving throw modified by willpower adjustment. Those who fail are mesmerized for as long as the bard continues to perform up to 1 turn, so up to 10 minutes. You can lead the lemmings off a cliff. Mesmerized victims are considered stunned, however. Mesmerized effects are broken once subject is attacked. At 3rd level, a single victim's mind can be imprinted with a suggestion as per the spell. I suggest you just leave now. However, a sorcery saving throw negates the suggestion and ends the mesmerization. And at 9th level, a single victim's mind can be infected with madness. Wow. However, the applicable sorcery saving throw negates madness and ends mesmerization. That's actually pretty cool. Read magic, ability to cipher. Yeah. Okay, so that's just read magic. Scroll use, illusionist and druid spells. Scroll writing, we've gone through that before. Sorcery, gone through that before, except for it's druid and illusionist. And the chart will mimic what this is. So, enlist henchman, we know that. Lordship, we know that. Progressive thief abilities. Let's see if anything. Nope, nothing new there. Nothing new there. Nothing new there. Nothing new there. And combat matrix. All right. You can go back and watch the video, the cleric or the. Well, we really didn't talk about cleric spells, did we? Oops. We went through all the cleric stuff and didn't talk about cleric spells. Oh well. Maybe I'll throw that in another video as a as a bonus or something. Okay, the class that I had the hardest time saying, the legerdemainist. I don't know. As a master of skullduggery, a specialist who practices the skills of a thief and the thaumaturgical sorcery of a magician. So this is your fighter mage. I'm not fighter mage. Mage thief, mage, whatever. Legendary practice illusion sorcery are called Montemex. So, okay, it's makes you a powerful musician. Perhaps I want to see a secret. Okay, those who practice a pyromancer sorcery are called fire thieves. That's a dumb name. Those who practice cryomancer sorcery are called ice thieves. Gone. Regardless of the sorcerer's education, legerdemainistes are notorious for combining thievish and sorcerer's skills to rob. Now we'll find out later. I'm pretty sure if you have to pick one of these, or if you can just do mage also. Okay. Dexterity 12, intelligence 12, and wisdom 12 for the fire and ice thieves, but not for the illusionist one. Those are minimum requirements. You have to have 12, 12, and possibly 12, 12, 12. Good luck getting that. Prime attributes, dexterity, and intelligence, both must be 16 or higher to get the 10% bonus. D6, alignment, chaotic good, neutral, lawful evil, chaotic evil, same as thieves, but for the fire thieves, chaotic good or chaotic evil. Remember, fire is a chaotic construct. Ice thieves, neutral and lawful evil. Again, I understand it. I wouldn't say that ice is, but I mean, ice is unmoving. It's not a chaotic concept. Armor allowed light, shields allowed small. Favored weapons are all these, starting with axe, a horseman's pick, yada yada, trident. Saving throw, avoidance, and sorcery. And that makes sense. Okay. Agile, we've talked about that before. Backstab, we've talked about that before. Detect secret doors, talked about that before. Extraordinary dexterity, talked about that. Magic item use, restricted to magicians only. So this is just for magicians. Read magic, done that. Scroll use, legend is chosen school. So yeah, magician, cryomancer, illusionist, or pyromancer. So whatever your chosen school is, that's what you can read. Scroll writing, and this is gonna be quick if it's all the same. Sorcery, you have to pick your school, and we'll get to that. And thieves can't, which we've talked about. New weapon skill, 4, 8, and 12, like always. Enlist henchman, lordship, progressive thief abilities, which I'm not seeing any changes in these stuff. All right, so the only thing we really need to talk about is the spell list. So spells per day up to level 3. So 2750 is base experience, so it's a little slow. Actually, for a thief, it's really slow. But you get the spell casting ability. What's the fighting ability? Fighting ability is that of a thief still. Casting ability is that of a magician. You just only get up to level 3. Remember, the bard got up to level 4 in 2 different ones. All right. I don't know why you wouldn't. I mean, bard seems overpowered, actually. I could be wrong. This is one of those classes. The legerdemainist is one that I've really always had kind of an interest in. But looking at it, it seems kind of eh. It's just a thief of spells. Okay. Unless there's something that I missed about the bard that gives it a big drawback. Anyway, purloiner. I think we have 2 left. I think we have the purloiner and the scout. Is a hallowed thief dedicated to demons, deities, and otherworldly beings. This is a mash of a priest thief, which can't be in 2nd edition 18. But this is where we just got out of the thief mage. Now we got the thief priest. Being associated with greed, larceny, subterfuge, trickery, and wealth. The purloiner is a spiritually endowed brigand who masters the myriad skills of a thief whilst foregoing unspeakable pacts and bargains of forging, not foregoing. Wow. Unspeakable pacts and bargains with deific powers. Whether serving a mystery cult, in appropriating or misappropriating funds and rare artifacts, or functioning as a spiritual mentor of an underworld thieves guild, or working as a rapacious freelance adventurer. The purloiner combines the remarkable expertise of a thief with the ecclesiastical powers of a cleric. In Hyperborea, most such thieving clerics serve Rel, but some will venerate Raven or Zequatha in place of or in addition to the famous god of thieves. Attribute requirements: dexterity and wisdom 12. Now that wow, both are 12s. Okay, so it's not like 9 and 9; it's 12 and 12. Dexterity, you need both dexterity and wisdom of 16 or higher to get the 10% bonus. Hit die is thief level at d6, and you can be chaotic, good, neutral, lawful, evil, chaotic, evil. So all the thiefly stuff. Looking very thiefly here. Avoidance +2, sorcery is +2 to your saving throws. Class abilities. All right, so we have agile. We know what that is. We have backstab. We know what that is. Detect secret doors. We know what that is. Extraordinary. It's feats of dexterity still. Magic item use. Restricted to clerics. So you can utilize magic items normally restricted to clerics. Scroll use. Has to be cleric spell list. Scroll writing. Sorcery. A lot of repetition here, which is good. And I'm glad that the information is actually repeated. So you only have to look at your class to go on. Thieves can't. We know what that is. Turn undead. Ooh. Hold on, let's look at this chart up here. So it's you don't have the hit points of the priest, you only have it of the thief. Saving throws are normal. Fighting ability is that of the thief. Turning ability, it starts at level 3, but then it goes up 1 per level. So not quite as good as the priest, but I think it's the same as the necromancer, right? Casting ability is 1 through 12. So you're casting this at max power, you just only get up to level 3 spells. Clerical spells, remember. Clerical spells. So we know how to deal with the turn undead. If not, you watch the cleric videos. So there's a chart for it. We'll show the chart, etc., because that's a cleric ability. The weapon skill 4, 8, and 12. Enlist henchmen. Unless the people in chat think that I need to repeat it again, because I know it's not technically in this video. Thieves, okay, same thief stuff. Decipher script seems the same. Decipher noise seems the same. Hide seems same. Manipulate traps. Yep. Move silently. Open locks seems the same. Pickpockets. I'm not seeing any numerical differences. Boom. Okay. So yeah, really, it's just the ability to turn undead. It's the ability to turn undead and to cast cleric spells. And again, I'm keeping it on the screen so you can read it right now. I'll even zoom in for it, but ultimately I'm not going to read it all because it's all in the cleric videos where we talked about this. And while I do say that, hey, We'll reread things here. Turning undead is just that. Make a turn undead check. It starts at level 3 for this character. You compare it to a chart that's in the cleric section, and either it worked or it didn't. And let's finish up with the final one, the Scout. The Scout is a cunning explorer and reconnoiter of castles, towers, and subterranean milieu. By the way, if I'm missing anything in chat, I see you guys are talking about character creation for AD&D, so I'm ignoring a lot of it, but if I'm missing anything pertinent, just let me know. A scout might be retained by a merchant house or thieves guild investigating rare artifacts hidden in ancient ruins or dungeons deep, or may serve as a spy gathering intelligence and identifying vulnerabilities. Some scouts seek their fortune with freebooters, brigands, or fellow adventurers, using their plethora of skills to sneak, explore, track, and infiltrate enemy defenses. But the most celebrated scouts are those who explore and measure the depths and breadths of impossible dungeons. Swift of blade and fleet of foot, daring and guileful to the utmost. The scout can be an invaluable resource for any band of seekers, especially those who delve into the awesome black depths and labyrinthine tunnels of Underborea. I like that. Where gods and daemons dwell. Hey, I like For Golden Glory. Oh, except for the way it's written. But I like For Golden Glory. Attribute, okay, Dex 9, Intelligence 9, so we're back to the 9s, but you do need an Intelligence of 9 as well. And you need both of those 16 plus to get your 10% XP bonus. D6 like a normal thief, all the alignments of thief, light, small, same normal weapons. Device and avoidance this time, but that makes sense. Agile, got it. Alertness, here we go. We haven't seen this one in a while, and I think it's the first we've seen it for the thieves. Reduced by 1 on a D6 roll, the party's chance to be surprised. A scout's doing his job to scout. It's harder to surprise you. It makes sense. Backstab looks to be the same. Controlled fall. Okay, to retard the descent of precipitous drops, for every level of experience, the scout can fall 10 feet. This is the same as the monk. It's literally the same cut and paste words too, of the monk from the priest class. So a scout, for every level of experience, a scout can fall 10 feet and sustain no damage so long as the wall or other stable surface is within 5-foot reach throughout the descent. Oh, so he's kind of slowing himself down by reaching for branches and grabbing that wall a little bit, whatever, scuffing up the hands for, some, that's probably some of the damage. But for falls beyond the scout's limits, normal rules are enforced. And so a 5th level scout plummets down a 90-foot pit and thus sustains 46 hit points of damage. Now, why is that? I might be wrong about this, but I think it's 1d6 per 10 feet. So 90-foot drop would normally be a 9d6 damage. And we'll find out if I'm wrong about this in a couple of weeks, but I think that's what it is. A 5th level scout takes off 5 of those d6. So instead of 9d6, it's down to 4d6 hit points of damage. Find secret doors 3 and 6 chance. Determine depth and grade. Oh, they're dwarves. To ascertain the extent of a pit, chasm, or shaft by dropping a coin or pebble and listening. To determine the slope of dungeon passages, detecting even the shallowest of slants. The chance of success for determined depth and grade is as follows. 1st to 4th level, 2 and 6. So you got basically a 33% chance of detecting. 5 to 8th level, 50% chance, 3 and 6. And 9 to 12th, 67% chance with 4 and 6. If the roll is off by 1 or 2, the estimate is off by 20%. For example, if a 2nd level scout rolls a 4 when attempting to determine the depth of a 50-foot pit, he or she will believe the foot either be 60 feet deep or 40 feet deep, as best decided by the referee. Okay? The roll's off by more than 2, the result is just a failure. Like, I don't know, it's like 110, I don't know. Disguise. Remember, you're a scout, and part of scouting is infiltration, right? To fashion a facade that simulates... Actually, we've already talked about this, and it looks like the same numbers as the assassin. So just listen to the assassin right up. It's still 2 and 12 to be discerned, and 1 and 12 if you have a high charisma. Not a lot to see here. 1750. So we're back down. It's pretty low. It's lower than a fighter, right? Lower than a mage, lower than a cleric. Still a little higher than the thief, but that's fine. I mean, it makes sense. But hit dice. Oh no, I'm sorry. Never mind. For some reason, I thought I was in priest. Never mind. Are right. Yeah, all of these are just basic thief stuff with a little bit higher hit experience point total needed to gain levels, but that makes sense because you've got some extra abilities here. Extraordinary is for feats of dexterity again. Run. Check this out. To move as swiftly as a hare. Base 50% movement when lightly armed or unarmored. That's crazy talk. Track to stalk prey, trace physical signs and discerning subtle clues. A scout can track at the below suggested probabilities. In the wilderness, base 7 and 12 chance. So that's not as good as, what is it? Was it a barbarian? If I remember, or the huntsman. Okay. But that's fine because in non-wilderness and dungeons, 9 and 12. Nobody had that high. So it's pretty dang good in both. I mean, this is pretty good. This is really good. The others were like, what, 3 and 12 and 5 and 12? If I remember correctly. So there we go. Furthermore, the scout can identify in general terms of species tracked if it is a known animal type. Large feline, heavy bovine, small canine. So, hey, have a good one, Travis. Thanks for being here. New weapon skill at 4, 8, and 12. Enlist henchman. We can know that. Lordship, progressive thief abilities. Improves scout level is comparable to the thief. And I'm not seeing any numbers change or any commentary change. Boom. There we go. Next week, we are going to talk about backgrounds. Heathen Dog will be back next week. That is all 4 of the classes, starting with fighter, going to magicians, going into clerics, going into thief. Man, that was crazy long. This is over 2 hours. No, well, 2 hours longer than our shorter but average, we'll call it, and hour and a half longer than what we should have. But I needed to get through all of that. You guys have been amazingly patient. We still have a bunch of viewers, not as much as we did like 2 hours ago, but it's still a bunch of viewers. I appreciate that. Please like, subscribe, and share. If you've got any questions about the thief or whatever, go ahead and put them into the comments. But hopefully going through them, I caught myself reading a bit faster towards the end there. Hopefully I wasn't rushing to the point that nobody could understand it. Chat was talking about creating characters for other games, so I think they stopped listening to me as well. But I hope you all enjoyed this. Remember, escapism, not representation, entertainment over activism. Organic inclusion, not forced diversity. That is our charity. You can see it in the description below. That is our schedule.